Choosing to understand rather than react puts you in control of your emotions and prevents others' behaviors from dictating your mood. This is particularly helpful in recurring conflict situations where impulsive reactions can escalate problems. To practice rational empathy, try a simple exercise. The next time someone acts disrespectfully, pause and ask yourself, what might this person be going through to behave this way? This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior, but approaching it with clarity and less emotional weight. When combined with the other Stoic methods we've explored, focusing on what you can control, reinterpreting disrespect, practicing strategic silence and remembering impermanence, rational empathy equips you with a comprehensive toolkit to face disrespect with dignity and wisdom. Now that we've covered all 5 Stoic methods, let's recap their key lessons and bring everything together. Now that we've explored the 5 Stoic methods, let's recap their key lessons to help solidify these principles and ensure they're ready for use in your daily life. Each method stands as a powerful tool on its own, but together they create a complete and transformative approach to handling disrespect. 1. Focus on what you can control. The first lesson teaches us that the key to inner peace lies in recognizing what is within our control, our reactions, thoughts, and attitudes. By redirecting your energy toward what you can change, rather than exhausting yourself trying to control others' behavior, you free yourself from unnecessary frustration and maintain emotional balance. 2. Reinterpret disrespect. Disrespect is only as powerful as the meaning you assign to it. By seeing such situations as opportunities for growth or reflections of the other person's limitations, you reduce their emotional impact. This method transforms criticism or provocation into tools for learning or dismisses them as irrelevant. 3. Practice strategic silence. Responding to disrespect with silence is not an act of submission, but one of strength. Silence creates a space for reflection, disarming conflicts and preventing impulsive reactions. It's a way to demonstrate control and maturity, communicating far more than words could. 4. Remember impermanence. Everything passes, including disrespect and the negative emotions it can evoke. Adopting this perspective allows you to put conflicts in their proper context, preventing them from consuming more time and energy than they deserve. Thinking in the long term helps keep your focus on what truly matters. 5. Cultivate rational empathy. Understanding that disrespect often reflects the other person's struggles or limitations, and not something about you, transforms how you react. Rational empathy allows you to face challenging situations with clarity, compassion, and emotional freedom. These 5 methods, when used together, provide a solid foundation for dealing with disrespect in a stoic and effective manner. By applying them, you not only gain control over your emotions, but also inspire respect and admiration through the way you handle adversity. You cannot control how the people around you act, but you can control how you respond to them. By adopting the Stoic methods we've explored in this video, you not only protect your dignity and peace of mind, but also turn difficult situations into opportunities for personal growth. Remember, being Stoic doesn't mean being indifferent. It means being unshakable. When you focus on what you can control, reinterpret disrespect, practice strategic silence, recognize impermanence, and cultivate rational empathy, you build a strong foundation for facing any challenge. Now it's your turn. Which of these methods will you start applying in your life today? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights might inspire someone else on their Stoic journey. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more content that helps you grow emotionally and with wisdom. Thank you for joining this reflective and empowering journey. And as always, remember the channel's motto: in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. Have you ever felt disrespected, as if your words or actions were ignored or even attacked? Perhaps you lost your temper in a moment that required balance, or reacted in a way you later regretted. These situations are more common than we'd like, but the good news is that there are practical ways to deal with them. Stoic philosophy, practiced by great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, teaches us that we have control over our emotions and reactions, even in the most difficult circumstances. And that's exactly what we'll explore today. 5 Stoic ways to respond to disrespect without losing your composure. In this video, you'll discover how to turn conflict situations into opportunities to develop emotional resilience and self-control, skills that not only improve how you deal with others, but also how you see yourself. After all, true strength comes from within. Get ready for a reflective and motivational journey, full of practical tools you can start using today. And remember, as we move forward, share your reflections in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Now, let's dive into the transformative power of Stoicism and discover how it can change the way we face disrespect. Before we explore the 5 Stoic methods, it's important to understand the foundations of this philosophy, which has existed for over 2,000 years. Stoicism, created in ancient Greece by Zeno of Citium and widely spread in Rome, teaches that happiness and tranquility come from living in harmony with nature and accepting what we cannot control. More than a theoretical reflection, Stoicism is a practical philosophy oriented toward action. Great historical figures adopted Stoicism as their guide. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and author of the renowned Meditations, applied Stoic principles while governing the empire in times of war and adversity. Epictetus, a slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that people are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about things. This simple yet powerful view remains incredibly relevant today. Think about everyday interactions, a rude comment, someone interrupting you, or even a stranger who seems to have crossed the line. How often do these moments destabilize your mood or make you act in a way you later wish you hadn't? This is where Stoicism comes in as a compass, helping you navigate difficult situations without losing your calm or dignity. Today, we live in a world where we are bombarded with stimuli, endless notifications, social expectations, and interactions that aren't always kind. Stoicism teaches us to separate what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, from what is outside of it, such as other people's opinions and behaviors. This simple mental exercise can transform the way we perceive disrespect and respond to it. Now that we understand what Stoicism is and its practical relevance, let's apply these principles to everyday situations, starting with the first method: focus on what you can control. Method 1. Focus on what you can control. One of the most important pillars of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, a concept that is simple yet profoundly powerful. It teaches us to separate what is within our control from what is not. When faced with disrespect, the biggest trap is trying to change or correct other people's behavior, something entirely beyond our reach. Instead, we must redirect our energy to control what truly matters: our reactions and thoughts. Imagine a common situation. You're at work and a colleague makes a rude or unfair comment during a meeting. What can you control at that moment? You certainly can't change what was said or force the person to apologize. However, you can choose how to respond. You can take a deep breath, maintain your composure, and demonstrate self-control. By doing so, you not only preserve your dignity, but also earn the respect of others by showing maturity in the face of conflict. Stoicism reminds us that insisting on controlling the uncontrollable is a recipe for frustration and suffering. Instead, we should adopt a perspective of acceptance. This doesn't mean being passive or tolerating disrespect as acceptable, but acting with a focus on what is within our reach. In many situations, a calm and thoughtful reaction can be more effective than any attempt at direct confrontation. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and opinions they form about things. This teaching invites us to reflect. Are we assigning more importance to disrespect than it truly deserves? Often, what deeply offends us can be seen from another perspective when we stop to analyze what's really at stake. Practicing the dichotomy of control requires training. Start by identifying situations that bother you the most and ask yourself, what about this can I actually control? This simple question helps redirect your energy productively. Instead of worrying about someone else's behavior, focus on how you can act with calmness, assertiveness, and self-control. By applying this principle, you'll notice a significant shift in how you view disrespect. The energy previously wasted trying to change the uncontrollable will be redirected towards strengthening your emotional resilience. After all, true power lies in how you choose to react, not in how you try to change others. Now that you understand how to focus on what is within your control, let's explore the second Stoic method, which complements this idea: reinterpret disrespect. Method 2. Reinterpret disrespect. Often the impact of disrespect lies not in the act itself, but in the meaning we assign to it. Stoicism teaches us that external events do not have the power to harm us directly. What truly affects us is how we interpret those events. This opens up a powerful possibility. We can choose to give new meaning to the situations we face. Think of a common scenario. Someone makes an unjust critique or throws out an unprovoked insult. Your initial reaction might be anger, frustration, or even embarrassment. However, by applying Stoic principles, you can pause and ask yourself, does this critique really say something about me? Or does it say more about the person making it? More often than not, disrespect reflects the insecurities, frustrations, or ignorance of the one expressing it, and not something inherent to you. This practice of reinterpreting disrespect is especially useful in conflict situations. For example, imagine a co-worker makes a demeaning comment about your performance. Instead of immediately assuming this is a personal attack, you could choose to see the situation differently. Perhaps they are projecting their insecurities. Or maybe the critique contains useful feedback that can help you improve, even if it was delivered with ill intent. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "What matters is not what happens, but how you react to what happens." This teaching reinforces the idea that interpretation is always our choice. We cannot control how others treat us, but we can decide what meaning to assign to their actions and how they will affect us. Reinterpreting disrespect doesn't mean ignoring or tolerating harmful behavior. Instead, it's a way to neutralize the emotional charge of the situation, allowing you to respond with clarity and rationality. When you understand that disrespect does not diminish your value, but rather reveals something about the other person, it becomes easier to maintain composure and act strategically. To practice this approach, begin with reflection. Whenever you encounter a challenging situation, ask yourself, does this action truly have the power to hurt me? What does this say about the other person? How can I turn this situation into something useful for me? These questions help transform anger or frustration into tools for personal growth. By reinterpreting disrespect, you free yourself from the need to react impulsively or carry the emotional burden it may bring. Instead, you take control of how you perceive the situation, using it as an opportunity to demonstrate resilience and inner strength. With this solid foundation, we're ready to explore the third Stoic method, practicing strategic silence. Method 3. Practice strategic silence. In a world where we're constantly pressured to react and defend ourselves, silence is often underestimated. However, in Stoicism, it is one of the most powerful tools for handling disrespect. Practicing strategic silence doesn't mean staying quiet out of fear or submission. It's about consciously choosing when and how to respond. Imagine a heated argument, whether with a co-worker, a friend, or a family member. In such situations, the natural tendency is to immediately counterattack, often without thinking. This instinctive reaction, however, can escalate the conflict, as impulsive responses are typically driven by emotion. Strategic silence, on the other hand, allows you to pause, observe, and regain emotional control before acting. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized the importance of not being dragged along by the emotions of others. When you choose silence, you break the cycle of reactivity. This doesn't mean ignoring or allowing inappropriate behavior to continue, but rather creating space to analyze the situation clearly. This brief pause can be enough to turn a negative interaction into a constructive one. A practical example might be a meeting where someone makes a sarcastic or unnecessary comment. Instead of responding in the heat of the moment, choose silence. Breathe, maintain your composure, and, if necessary, address the point later when you're calmer and better prepared. This behavior not only demonstrates self-control, but also disarms the other person, who likely expected an emotional reaction. Silence also communicates far more than words could. It conveys strength, maturity, and confidence. While many people get caught up in arguments and justifications, the Stoic remains centered, showing they have nothing to prove to anyone. To adopt strategic silence, start by practicing in simple situations. The next time someone makes a provocation or unnecessary criticism, resist the urge to respond instantly. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, will my response here really add anything? Or could my silence be more powerful? By mastering strategic silence, you'll realize that not every battle is worth fighting, and that often the greatest show of strength is choosing not to engage.